Thank you for tuning in for the NCR Silver Tech Tips. Today's topic, the Pro Vault MSR stand. The Pro Vault MSR stand is designed to provide a stronger casing to the iPad Air 2 with a Magstripe reader attached. All the equipment provided by NCR Silver. And another name for our Magstripe reader is MSR. It is advisable that you've already completed the following steps before connecting all of the components of your Pro Vault MSR stand. You should initialize your iPad, set up an Apple ID, download the NCR Silver Essentials or NCR Silver Pro Restaurant application from the App Store, and register your iPad to the back office at mystore.ncrsilver.com. If you haven't completed any of the tasks above prior to setting up the stand, please refer to the accompanying video links for how-to assistance. Out of the box, you will see quite a few components: the stand, the iPad casing, the MSR bracket, which will protect the Magstripe reader, a swivel ring, and be advised, you'll need to provide your own Phillips head screwdriver. We've shown it in the video that it is necessary, but it's not included within the packaging. Remember, this stand is to house your iPad Air 2 or new version, and you'll also need a Magstripe reader, the lightning connector, to connect into this iPad. Let's turn this over to our tech expert, who will now demonstrate how to connect the Pro Vault MSR stand.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, this video is to show you how to install the NCR Silver Vault stand. This is our latest stand we added to the iPad solution in order to protect the card reader and also address any concerns around protecting the iPad in a stand. So this stand is a full enclosure for the card reader and the actual iPad itself, which is the iPad Air series. I'm basically going to show you what it looks like to unbox the stand and the parts that are going to come with it and how to assemble the stand together. So over here you see a box. Your packaging may be a little bit different, but for the sake of a video we put this in this box. Also your stand may be a little bit longer, but it's still the same items. So the first thing we need to make sure we have is the base. It has a screw set in there. Also the bracket for the card reader, it also has screws. The Vault back plate, and also the swivel, the bottom base. Now, these are the items that should be in your box. If anything's missing, please reach out to the team so we can address that. If you're ready to begin assembly, you will need to have a Phillips screwdriver. This is a requirement in order to assemble the Vault stand. So you have to have a Phillips screwdriver. So altogether, there's going to be about 12 screws we're going to screw. And with that said, we better begin. So the first thing I'm going to do is just start unwrapping. Basically, I just want to get everything staged and ready. Just kind of tear through there. If you want to, if, you're a lady doing this and you got nails, I understand. Get you a box cutter or a knife. Inside here, you should have approximately 4 screws. Just tip the bag over, and here they are. All Phillips. You can also use that Phillips head screwdriver to tear through some packaging. Now, you're going to notice a little package in there like this. It's actually pre-cut into 4 corners. What this does, you place them at each corner of the back plate. This is going to provide an extra kind of padding and cushion for the iPad so it doesn't scratch it up while it's sitting in the stand. So I'm just going to peel these, split it apart. Doesn't have to be perfect as long as you have them one in each corner. This is the side bracket for the card reader. Another additional 4 screws should be included. And our last piece is the swivel. Now when you open this, be careful, you do have a pack inside. You need this little Allen key, in order to adjust this piece here. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to start assembling this together. The first thing I want to do is get my base plate. I'm going to set the base plate upright with the 4 holes facing me. With my left hand, now I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do this with what works for me as a right-handed person. I like to grab the back plate and hold it against the back here of the base, excuse me. Now once I have like corners and holes lined up, I take one screw and I screw it in. Once you get one screw in, you're golden. You really don't have to worry about aligning these too much. Once you tighten one screw, it's going to hold itself. So the other 3 screws should be really easy to get in there. And if you need help with this, definitely it doesn't hurt to have a second hand, but you should be able to manage. Okay, so I squeezed it, nice firm tighten screw, turn it around, flip it over. Now what we're going to do is we're going to assemble, we're going to remove the 4 corner screws in order to set our iPad in there. We have to do the iPad next because afterwards we're going to put in our card reader and then our bracket. Now this already comes screwed in. However, I actually had to unscrew these 4 screws. So and then I'm going to screw them back in. These screws are a little bit shorter, faster to take off. So I can actually leave a couple of these in there. Now this is the faceplate of the enclosure. If you notice, I have a little short opening and a long kind of bar here. This short opening is where the card reader is going to go. So next you have to grab your iPad. Okay, here's an Air iPad. If you notice, there's a port at the very bottom. That's my charge port. That's where my card reader is going to plug in. So guess what I have to do? I do not want to put it against this side because then I won't be able to plug in my card reader. I'm going to have to flip this upside down and around so that, flip this around for the video. So now you see my opening also has the card reader on this side. This is very important because if you put it together, you're going to have to take it back off. So I also want to line this about 2-inch hole here with the side that matches on the actual stand bracket. So I left 2 screws in, and I'm just going to screw it down. These screws are shorter, so it's a lot faster. Okay, so right now, this is what we have so far, okay? But we're not done yet. So now, this is the perfect time to grab the card reader that's in your box that you're going to insert. Okay, so I'm going to reach over, look at my box. I should have another box, looks like this, very small. Open it up, voila, there's a card reader in here. Put that to the side. So here's what we're going to do. A credit card swipe with the card facing up on this side. So I'm going to, the side with the little logo, I'm going to turn it around, stick it in the side here, and give it a nice firm push. You should not see that little white on the tip here. That should disappear when you have it pushed in all the way. That's what it should look like. And then you're going to feel it nice and flush. So while that's sitting in there, you're going to grab the bracket for it. You're going to turn that around and place it on top of the reader. I'm not going to screw all these in just yet. I'm going to try to get them in there first. Now sometimes these screws, you got to give a little muscle. Don't feel like you're breaking it. The bracket is very secured, so you got to use a little muscle to tighten these in there. But once they're in, it's in. Be careful. Okay. One more. Okay. So turn the stand around, and really quick, a lot of people say, well, how do I charge it? Right here is the charging port. So look for the cable that comes in a micro USB. That's for this piece. That's where you're going to plug it into. So the last piece of the assembly is the swivel. Now, we do have an option where some people have a swivel, some don't want it. So if you don't have this, you can ignore the rest of the video. But if you do have this piece, this is how you install it. So the little baggie we had earlier, we're going to take our little Allen wrench, little Allen key there, gently tilt it back. Your stand, you're going to take the top piece off, and you're going to put the stand back on here. Now, it's not going to really sit in there very well, and here's why. There's another piece we need in here, and it's this little washer. So you want to kind of lift the stand, there we go, and turn it until this washer is very flush at the bottom, okay? You should also see there's a flat side right there on this. What we're going to do, we have to align the hole somewhere on this flat side and then tighten it. And you just got to hold it and turn until you feel it get tight. Okay, there it is. So what this does, if I put adhesive at the bottom of that or something, you know, I can sit there and swivel this. Turn on your iPad, and you're ready to begin. The card reader should feel very flush, very fluid when you swipe. So just grab a card, swipe through, and it should feel very flush. And that's it.
Thank you again to our tech expert for showing you how to connect the ProVault MSR stand. There are some additional components to consider that also come in your box. These are your add-ons: the stand frictionless pads and the swivel ring stickers. These components are helpful in making sure that your stand is stable and that will not move off your counter. Let's jump back to our tech expert to show you how to connect these items onto your ProVault MSR stand.
Okay, one more piece of information regarding some additional items in the base packing. You're going to find these little rubber pieces, and these are little rubber feet that can go in adhesive sticks that can go on the bottom of the stand to prevent any kind of movement, okay? Also, you'll find these red adhesive tabs. The red is not the sticky part. You actually have to peel that red off, and in the middle of that and the paper is your sticky double side. What this is for, here we go. What this is for is the swivel base. So even though you have swivel, if it's still moving all together, you can stick some pads around here, and that should keep this nice and firm. Swiveling is great. It does add a little bit of wear over time if you're turning it very aggressively, so just make sure if you did want to use a signature capture, you're swiveling very lightly. It's preferred without the cable plugged into the back of the iPad also. And if you have any questions, please call the help desk. Thanks.
Wow, so many great components to the stand. If you need any additional help outside of this step-by-step video, please contact our 24/7 NCR Silver customer care team at 877-270-3475. You can call or text this number. And that's it for our NCR Silver Tech Tip.